Hi everybody, welcome to an episode of Poorly Reviewed. I am Sean.
And I'm Asia.
We took a couple weeks off. Life happens.
Life finds a way, as they say.
But we're back and we're ready for some more. We actually saw a whole bunch of movies this past weekend.
We just literally saw a movie recently, Without Remorse. We just finished that a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we saw Without Remorse, we saw Army of the Dead, and we saw Spiral. Book of Saw, or from the book of Saw. From the book of Saw.
I forgot. Like, I didn't even notice that was like the subtitle to it, because it was just like everything was spiral, and then like I guess they kind of added that in at the end. Like, oh yeah, so people who are seeing this, because I mean, we'll get into it, but the way the movie plays out is super predictable. It's sort of like hold handy, that they needed to do that even in the title for people who are not familiar with, like, what they're alluding to with this, jigsaw copycat. So for like the people that we saw the movie with, all the like grandmas with the kids for some reason, who went to go see this movie, they'll know what's going on,
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you want to go in order of how we saw them and just go through what we, and just do like a brief reviews for everything?
You know what? How do you want to do this? Because I liked it. I know it was, like I just said, it really holds.
Do you want to go from our least favorite to our most favorite, or what?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm debating. Do I go?
All right.
Do I go bad news, good news, or good news, bad news?
With our least favorite that we've seen this weekend.
My least favorite was Army of the Dead.
Army of the fucking Dead.
No, like I get it. Like, people really like this. Like, I thought the zombies were cool.
Yeah. I
thought the scenario was cool.
Cool aspects.
There's cool aspects. There's some things that I liked and some things that I was just like, and I think it comes down to the runtime. Like, everything I've been reading about it, like, people are like praising it for the, fun moments and kind of like some of the funny dialogue, I guess. And
taking my glasses.
And the diversity of the casting, which is all good. And then they said like runtime was the problem, because there's a lot of parts where I felt like it dragged. Like, I know that people are saying like he made Justice League not as long, but it didn't drag. I can kind of see it in this one, but there was parts where I was just like, come on, dude. Like, there is actually a ticking clock right now. Like, but I'll let you go into it.
No, keep going. Say what you want to say.
Like, it looked super cool. I was excited for it, but it was just like, at the same time, all right. There was some extra stuff that didn't need to be there. The opening scene kind of made me feel like, wait, what? Are we just gonna go into? Okay, let's just to summarize the story.
This is run it from.
Right.
We'll just do a brief
summary.
Synopsis.
Yeah. It's a
Las
group,
Vegas gets infected by zombies.
And this group of people
they cordon off Las Vegas.
Yes, it's completely coordinated.
So all the zombies are quarantined inside Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And these people are going in there to rob the casino. So they can get $500 million.
Yeah, like that's apparently during the whole thing has like millions and millions of dollars in the vault down at the bottom of the casino. Yeah. This guy reaches out to Dave Bautista and a few of the people he trusts to go back and get that money out, and they'll get off. He gets $50 million, and that's from there. Building his team, he can split it any way he wants. And he wants to start his life over after everything that happened in Las Vegas, and then all the hijinks ensues. Because there was some cool things, like when we see in the trailer, like the tiger, the big dudes, like there's dumb zombies, there's the dudes that are like more smart, communicating, got a whole system and hierarchy and shit.
They got a king.
And they got a king. They follow rules. They communicate. They're like, you got to give me something so you can pass through. You hold me over. Things like that, like a code. They have codes, and that's cool. That's amazing. I like that. That's fun, and I like the setting. And the thing of some rich dude who really doesn't care about expendable people wants you to go and get his money, and you get a cut. Yeah, that's plausible. It's plausible in this situation. Yeah, I mean, in a fantasy type situation. Not, of course, not like for real, because like No, if he was really, really rich, he really wouldn't care. He just
well, he didn't care.
He didn't. Let's plot twist. It wasn't about
Spoiler,
the money.
he didn't care. But overall, I mean, I feel like the movie didn't do anything to tell us, like, to say anything. He didn't say anything. He made this movie for killing zombies and having fun.
Yeah, which is fine.
Maybe there's a little bit of there was like conservative themes that were he was
like also
spoofing on it, I guess.
Kind of like immigration things. You know, like how keeping people in a locked in, and you know, going in is a hellscape.
But that was like so minute to everything else that was happening in this movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. I don't know, consumerism. Las Vegas, like money, greed, stuff like that. And then people who are so greedy, you still want to go in there and do things like the government is greedy. There's like a lot of things like that. It was like greed, corruption, people needing what people need, to, you know, and stuff like that. And also just schlockiness, like, cause like the opening scene.
The schlock was fine. It's fine. It was.
Yeah.
He
I applaud the zombie actors. They were super cool, like a super like athletic and like crazy. Like they seem like a real threat, which is what you look for. And then Dave Bautista, the rest of the cast that I can't think of every single body's names, but they were really good and they were competent. Like people, you know, of course there was like some characters that were supposed to be goofy and funny, and then the one guy who's supposed to open the safe, obviously not know anything, but it was plausible to us that they can whoop ass, and that's cool.
I had no problems with any of the actors and the characters. It was all fine. I had problems with the story and the direction. So like Snyder doesn't know how to tell a story that's not less than 2.5 hours long, apparently. So that's a problem. And then in this one specifically, he doesn't do anything interesting with the characters. They're very basic characters.
Basic needs, wants. It seems like, you know, I mean,
like people pride him on being like these great character writer, where the people have so much depth and stuff. And it's like, I don't see the depth.
Not every single one of them. I feel like maybe
felt very surface.
2 characters probably had a little bit more. Omari Hardwick, I felt, and then the lady, I feel like maybe
she was fine.
Well, she was kind of wait. Let me say Dave. Maybe Dave, a little bit of Dave, but he's very single-minded. It was very like, I don't know.
No one like had any empathy for anything what was going on. Everything was just kind of like they played everything straight. Like, oh, whatever happens, it happens. Big whoop.
Yeah.
And like again, like you mentioned earlier, there's like a ticking clock that's happening the entire movie, but no one has any sense of urgency. They're just like, we got time. And
well, I mean, explicitly they do say it in one scene, but however, I just feel like there was a point towards the middle half of the movie where I was like, don't they have like 2-3 hours to get out?
Yeah.
Like and they're, you know, recouping and stuff and trying to figure out how to do the thing, and then the time is jumped. You know, the time is cut in half, and they're still kind of like, there wasn't a sense of urgency there, or like, how are we getting out of here? Like, because the character who's doing the helicopter, she was like very like, this is fine. She's like, everything's fine.
The disconnect, because they reshot all of her scenes, because it was originally what's his face,
Chris D'Ello,
and they reshot everybody and replaced it with her, and you could tell that she was acting against nobody.
Yes,
it was very difficult.
It was very weird, and there's a point,
and he hung on her
a lot.
Like
there's
for
a lot
after her.
There's a lot of weird hanging on people, you know, and a lot of. Yeah,
but like before we go into like specifics of it, what did you think of like the overall movie?
It was fine. It was fine. It was fine. It was kind of predictable. I was like, Zeus, the main zombie, is not gonna give up. Like and they're not gonna, that's gonna be the final, all the way to the end. We're gonna see Zeus almost every other scene. So, but it wasn't. It was fine. It was fine.
It's not worth seeing in the theater.
No,
for me.
No, yeah.
I think it is the action's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some interesting dialogue every now and then. There's some interesting bits that they do. But, I mean, all the characters are one note. The story goes... It kind of slogs a little bit. There's not as much action as you would think in a 2.5-hour Zack Snyder movie. There's a lot of just talking about going places and doing things. There's a whole sequence they do where they they do like a Shaun of the Dead reference type thing. Not reference, but like Shaun of the Dead, where he explains the plan, they show the plan, and then they say, wait, do this. And then
that was cute. Yeah, that was cute.
I didn't like it, but if you liked it, good.
It's fine. But let's get into spoilers. Let's just do it.
If you like seeing zombies get killed and Dave Bautista fucking whooping ass and taking names.
He had a good performance in this too.
Dave was good. I believed in his character. Like I said, all the actors played their characters well.
Very well. I was like, when we drove away talking about it, I was like, at least I can say all the actors were really good, very professional. Like everything was like, everybody had a great scene, everything. No, everybody was pretty good. I think the daughter kind of got on my nerves a little bit.
Well, she was dumb.
But that was the point.
She's dumb.
She's very impulsive and dumb. But anyway, whatever.
If you like zombies getting killed, Dave Bautista shooting people in the heads, and fast zombies, all that stuff, ticking clocks, action, boom, boom, heads exploding, gore. I mean, you'll like this movie. You'll have fun. If you're going for any type of story or any logic, throw that shit out the window because you don't need it. So let's go into spoilers.
Spoilers. There was this problem I had with some of it. Like when we were talking about the reshoots, there's this point where it's like a group shot and it's super obvious that she was put in, like, and it's like, dude, I mean, I don't know, like everything is, everybody was on lockdown, and cut the shot.
Cut the fucking shot. Oh my God.
And then the thing is, he did this kind of filter, like sometimes people were blurry. Did you notice that?
They did that specifically for,
yeah, but they did it on other people. There was times
they did it so they can mask things easier.
Yeah.
It was a visual effects thing that they were trying to do, and he was just trying to play it off as a motif. But it was very obvious.
Yeah. It was kind of like made me go like, like whoa, because it made sense for, I guess, the situations where we saw her, because she was like in a windy area or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'll chalk it up to wind and smog in the air. Smaug in the air. But there was a point there was Dave Bautista and his daughter, his estranged daughter. Like when I looked at the cast for this, because I was looking at who else was in it, and reading what people said about the runtime and stuff. So they're having a scene where they try to reconcile, I guess. And they just keep on zooming in, and her face is like, looks like blurry for a second. I was like, what is this? Why didn't they blur it on the scenes where she was composited in? Like, what? Just throw the blur in there. But no, it was like a crisp, like, outline. Like,
you talking about the one shot where they first go into the city and she like puts her foot up on top of the zombies, Tig?
No, just well, maybe, but I'm talking about there was a scene where they were all grouped together. And she's there, and it seemed like she was so out of place. In fact, her body was like size smaller. Like she looked like a kid.
Chris is taller. Yeah. So like they had to like change all the eye lines and everything.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? And but they made her look like a child, and it was like an outline of white. And I was like, dude, who didn't feather out? Like, it wouldn't put the blur. And I'm sorry, I'm doing too much with my hands right now. But it was really, I was like, what? And then they kept lingered on it and cut. I was just like, what is this? But
I think they should have just bit the bullet and just done what they had to do with Chris, or just like remove him from the movie altogether somehow. Maybe I don't know.
Can we talk about how this zombie apocalypse happened? You know what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know what happened, guys? If you want to know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to spoil it for you because I was like,
we talked about this on the way back because I asked her
it was
specifically.
so weird and so bad that I blacked it out. I forgot this happened.
I said specifically, hey, how did the movie start?
How did it?
And she never started at the beginning. She was talking about other parts.
I was talking about other shit because I wanted to move on. So a young couple in Vegas getting married at like a drive-through wedding place, and they take a picture outside the 2 miles.
The sign.
Yeah, the sign that says 2 miles to Vegas. They're not in front of the Vegas sign, welcome to Vegas sign.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Well, I'm a married woman now. And they get in the car.
Yeah, you do see a load. The army loads shit up
between
first.
them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the army's leaving the base. And then they're talking about their cargo, and then cut.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, you do you shave with the aftershave or what the fuck? And then I'm gonna give you a little present, my baby. And he's like, what you mean? Oh, I'm sorry. And they doing that, and then the dudes are talking to each other. The dude is not looking at the road
at all.
The whole time he's just like this. You're the other dude asking. I'm just like this. Yeah, man.
No one drives down this road anyway.
I don't even know. And there's a light. The headlights are blindingly towards them. Then, of course, the couple's swerving around.
Mm-hmm.
They hit the thing with the precious cargo, yeah? And then the cargo goes flying out. Tell me why that this thing was it was secure on the belt. It had the door on there. It was like it's like a little
really far.
It did, but the thing is, the door was still secure, and then the zombie drop kicked it off.
Fell off, yeah.
No, he didn't. It didn't fall off. He was like, "I'm sick. This is y'all let me up."
Falls down because it was facing up, closed, and then it just he must have bumped into it.
He was like,
exactly.
Well, that's how it started. The zombie busts out. First of all, the lady on dispatch, she was just like, y'all need to get out of there. Like, I ain't playing around. She's like, I'm leaving. I'm going home right now. But see, and he's like, what? And that's how it starts. They go straight towards Vegas. And
before we move on to something else, I want to touch on the fact that these motherfuckers were told to leave. Mm-hmm. They all get killed by the main zombie.
Yeah.
And then the last two dudes who were talking at the beginning of the movie could have got back in the fucking Humvee and drove off.
But no, they leave.
They run into the desert and they get killed by the fucking zombie.
Because the other guy got kind of obviously going into the dirt off-roading could mess up your car, but it's a Hummer.
It's a military Humvee all-terrain.
It's fine. They could have got back in the car and drove away.
Car and go.
But no, they decided to be dumb and go and hoof it. And that's how we got where we got. And then havoc ensues.
Yeah.
And
you get the whole opening credits, the Zack Snyder opening credit sequence with the music over it and shit.
Pause. This part of the story, the credits, I'm like, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see this story. I get this story is pretty interesting too. Yes, it's cool. Adding the heist on top of this.
It was different.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
However, I see Dave Bautista and Omari Hardwick and the supermom. I forgot the actress name. They're saving a senator and doing all types of stuff. The military go in there and they sacrifice themselves. Let us see that.
Yeah, I
thought that was gonna be why it's so long? I thought that was this is chapter 1 with them being the heroes.
The opening credits, that's Zack Snyder's motif. He has the longest fucking opening credits in the world every single time.
Exhibit Watchmen.
Any movie. Exhibit Snyder movie.
Yes, yeah.
But he tells a story usually in his credits, and in this story, I think this story, the credit story itself, is more compelling than the actual story that we see throughout the movie with the mother trying to find the daughter.
Right.
And then they both die at the end of it.
Yeah, that's a good way to show this is what we're in for, folks. Mm-hmm. There's no hope here.
Yeah.
All ye who enter here abandon all hope.
Yeah.
But however, I'm gonna leave one last thing. If they had leaned more into heisty, stuff, it would have been better. I thought it would have been, I thought there was going to be more heist stuff, like sort of more sneaky shit. I don't know.
There's so much logic gaps in this. I can't remember. I didn't look it up before we started if Snyder wrote this or not. But it has all the concept of a Snyder issue where there's this big logic gaps in situations.
I can check it for you.
Like, for example, like when the badass Latina was whooping ass in the kitchen because slimy dude told her to go the wrong way. And she whooped everyone's ass, every single zombie. She was doing it all, and like she was home free. She got out. She got fucked over again, and then again and again and again, and she got out. Yeah. And then she dove through a window. She lands on the ground in front of the entire team.
Zombies were
funneling in towards them. She's still shooting them and fighting them.
Exactly.
And everyone's just like, leave her. It's too late.
They just stood there
just stood there and waited for her to die.
It was like, is this dude...
Shoot! Help! She could just stand up and run.
They were like...
All you had to do was shoot the zombies around her.
They were standing there like with the gun in their hand like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like...
Like 7 of them. 7 of them, like right behind.
Exactly.
Like from the distance of these DVDs, they were all over there. I'm the girl getting whooping. They could have shot the whole time.
And they're like, oh no, she's not gonna make it.
No, we need to have an explosion death. It. And then it's the time.
She finally gets overwhelmed because
they hesitated.
No one does anything to help her. And then she's just like, believe me, it's fine. Shoot my gas tank. And then everything explodes.
I would have said, motherfucker. Anyway.
So there's a couple things that could have happened there.
Yeah.
One, Snyder does this a lot, where he has this long, like, a sequence of things where it doesn't have any payoff. She's like, we expect her just to get eaten right away when she startles everybody, but she kills everybody.
She goes off.
Everything.
She's off.
A badass motherfucker.
She's an Amazon.
It's
for
like,
real.
You think she's gonna be fine, and then she dies anyways. There's no payoff. There's no payoff to all that action. There's nothing. It just happens, and then she dies the same way she would have done anyway, being sacrificed in some fashion. And it's stupid. And because there's people looking at her with guns that could help her.
Yeah, they were.
And that happens.
If you establish that they got cut off somehow, or they're getting overrun on their side, they did it a little bit. They were on the other side, like in the kitchen area, getting a little bit overrun, but they got through it because they had numbers. This girl's doing their numbers by herself. And when she busts through the window, all of them were, the zombies weren't coming up, but they were way behind. They show that they're there. If they were completely cut off and still in the other room, yes, I get it. Like if it was just him, and also I had another problem with the dude that they, so Scorpion needed an inside man to be, keep an eye on the mission.
That's who starts all this is Scorpion.
Scorpion wanted an inside man in there to get the surprise. It's not about the money. They want a zombie head. Cool.
Yeah, they wanted to make zombie soldiers. That's why we started where we started too, because that was a soldier pretty much. Because he had like tags and like army fatigue pants on. So, if they were cut off, what was I going to say? If it was just the one dude who's his inside man is so cartoony, like evil to the max, it was just like, really? That guy
seriously? If it was just him and the guy who was there with her, who came in with her, then I totally understand why they would be like, oh, we need to go. But no, I see Dave Bautista back there. I see them all. They just sit there like, girl, you cool though. That was sweet. That was great. Damn. And they kept on moving. They were like, let's go.
Yeah, but that happens consistently throughout this movie. There's this huge gaps in logic of people doing stupid shit. The other one example would be, okay, there's a nuke coming to Las Vegas.
Right. They all know it.
They all know it's coming. And they moved it up from the 4th of July to the day that they're there. So it's going to be there in an hour, in like 20 minutes.
Hour and 30 minutes.
They get into the vault finally, like getting out to the area of the vault and they're trying to open it. Meanwhile, fucking daughter is just like, I have a great idea. I'm going to go out into the zombie-infested world and I'm going to try to find my friend.
But why would she do... my girl did so much for this mom and it didn't even work. It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. She went out there with one gun.
We don't even know what happens.
Just one.
We don't even know what happens. But the Gita is the person we're talking about. So at the beginning of the movie, this Gita character is talking to Dave Bautista's daughter character, who's the volunteer helping with the people who need relief at Las Vegas, who are now homeless because they were evacuated from Las Vegas. They live in tents that's just outside the wall.
Right.
So she lives there with them and then doing all this stuff. And then she's going to go into Vegas to steal money from some of the slot machines so they can get out of there and live a better life.
Right.
And there's a coyote there, this other character who becomes more prominent throughout the movie, who gets them in there off screen. She disappears. And this character throughout the movie is trying to find this Gita character.
Because she has 2 kids.
She has 2 kids that she wants them to take care of. And then we get to the end of the movie.
She doesn't want that responsibility. She got to go and get Gita back.
So we get to the end of the movie. We find Gita still alive somehow. They didn't kill her yet. And she gets in the helicopter.
Either turn her or eat her.
Yeah.
Neither nor of those.
And she gets in the helicopter. The missile hits. The helicopter crashes. And we don't see exactly what happens to Gita explicitly. We see Tigger Terrace.
Gita's dead. Gita's straight up dead.
She probably is.
She's twisted up like a Family Guy character, just like the helicopter is.
Dave Bautista's character was still alive, and Tig's character was dead. We don't see Gita at all. The person that the whole thing, the soul arc of the daughter's character. Yeah. We don't get any resolution to that. She found her and then she died. Big whoop.
Yeah, exactly. She went in there to validate her bravery, her volunteer bravery. Because I was just like, I whispered to Sean, I was like, she volunteered to be in this stupid thing. She volunteered to be dumb. She volunteered to go and take herself out of this equation with one gun and go. And go into hostile territory to get this mama, and then now she's just all twisted up under the helicopter. But the thing is, the movie told us this was going to be like that.
When I watch a movie, I'm fine with schlock, I'm fine with this, but there needs to be logic behind it. There needs to why. If I have to ask why, there's a problem. You did something wrong if I'm asking why.
But he could be saying that life isn't fair. If you're chasing after that dollar or some shit.
But every character does something stupid to get themselves in a situation where they're probably going to end up dying.
Yeah, that's true.
Every single character. There's big logic gaps in what people do.
Yeah, because Big Dave's whole thing was, the girl said, this is dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Like the whole mission is dumb. Everybody's doing dumb shit.
There's a whole, the last thing I want to talk about. Last thing we're going to talk about for this movie.
I'm not going to say anything else.
Last thing. Well, if you want to say something, you can. But this is the last thing I want to talk about. So at the end of the movie, we get the whole thing where Dave Bautista's entire team has basically been killed. There's no money anymore. They got the king chasing them down because they killed the queen.
Yep. She was pregnant.
And we have...
Pregnant.
He's trying to go find his daughter now, who has Gita finally at the Olympus Hotel and Casino. They got him. They're fine. They got him. They took out the king for a second. He's discombobulated. They get on the roof, and for some reason, after Tig landed on the roof, she's playing the pilot character. He's like, "Don't screw me." She's like, "Okay." And then
get your daughter.
He goes and gets his daughter, and then when we come back, she's gone. But she comes back again. She's like,
I grew a conscience.
I grew a conscience. Why did you take off? Why did you? And then we get back to the helicopter. We're all standing staring at each other. It's like, I grew a conscience. Yes, you did.
And she's like,
wow, smile. Hand to the left. King's behind him. Oh no! You have a nuke coming. Get in the helicopter.
We have to go. But it was literally it was like no. Your Dave Bautista, I'm just like. Oh shit! It was weird. It was weird. There was moments like that I was just like...
That happens consistently throughout the movie.
I was like, what the fuck?
Everything, the in-between that is fun, action-y, zombie killing goodness, story, world-building stuff. The logic gaps really hurt my head, and it's hard for me to get past them myself.
I was so confused. Cut the fucking shot. I'm like,
the movie probably could have been an hour and 30 minutes if he didn't do stupid shit like that.
All right. Can I talk briefly about something else?
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Okay,
before we go into the other ones?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just real quick.
She wants to talk about, because we have a recall we're going to work on.
We're working on a recall. There's this movie out there. Please, I beg you to watch the trailer and try to make sense of it. It's called Assassin's Revenge, and this is what the movie looks like. It's like, well, let's just. It'll be in the artwork comes in somewhere. Starring Michael Madsen, Patrick Bergin, and Bai Ling, who all together, these three people are in the movie for less than 3 minutes, but they're top billed. My girl, I'm pretty sure my girl Bai Ling is the one who's in the strip club. Like, there's random things about this. Okay. So to sum up,
I gotta watch it again.
All right, so let me read the synopsis real quick. The skyscrapers in New York City glistens like the golden lights on a Christmas tree. I'm sorry, what? But all is not well in the city, and violent corruption runs amok. What's up? After a high-speed chase through the city streets ends in the partner's death, Detective Frank McKillen Michael Mountain decides on taking the law into his own hands. Retiring from the NYPD, he transforms into the nightly into the enforcer. Mm. They never say this. Okay, a mass vigilante with his own brand of justice. So, this guy, when the artwork. This has nothing. That's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Some of the images on the back are sure. Some of them are in the movie, barely. But I love it because it's some sort of clone of like trying to be Sin City, Batman, the Joker, everything. Michael Madsen is in it for like I said, like 2 minutes, and then they have some dude who is just like some body double for the opening scene. That's supposed to be him as the detective, and he's just doing a voiceover, and it's not Michael Madsen's voice. It's just some dude doing an impersonation of him.
Really bad one.
I was so confused. And then there's a point where the guy needed to take a video of Michael Madsen in the car, so he has it in like a stupid, like this is the iPhone. He's just filming it like down here, like.
You didn't have Michael's permission that day.
It
was guerrilla shooting Michael Madsen in the car.
It was on an iPhone. There's my man. The whiplash in the styles of the movie, Sean. Remember when we first saw it and we were just like, what style is this?
I'm pretty sure I had a stroke.
Yeah, because at one point, we watched this as we tried to do like a reaction video of watching it for the first time. We did have
a reaction video, but
it's really bad.
It's incoherent because I
had a mental breakdown and you had a mental breakdown, but you internalized it and you sat there comatose the whole time.
Yeah, there was no reaction from me. I was like this the entire time.
You were like, what is my life? Where did pizza come from? Who am I? What are you?
What is this blue ball that I live upon?
I don't know if they got the artwork for this or someone to do artwork for this, but this guy tried to make it seem like it was like a comic book inspired type shit with these random, I want to say Windows Movie Maker style, like transitions with like panels from the Sin City graphic novel and or Great Value Sin City, because it was just that. And then they made New York, because it's literally, you guys, this movie it's just like that meme. We got Sin City at home, and this is the movie. We got The Dark Knight at home. Sin City, Dark Knight at home. Great Value.
This movie has 20% of it, I think, is actually just comic book panels that they did.
Yes.
Because they couldn't actually. It was probably their their storyboards. They're just like,
No,
we
no,
can't actually film this, so
It's-
comic book.
it's really, the art is not bad. Like the panels that they got.
Right, but they probably just took their
It's-
storyboard and gave it to a comic book artist and
Yeah.
said, "Do that."
And then he put it in a format that's for, like printing. And they were like, no, it's for a movie. He's like, well, that's fucked. And they're like, no, it's fine. We'll blow it up and all the articles will pop out and it's really unintelligible. It'll look a little blurry, but it'll be fine. It's fine. It's seriously like that. It's like he put it, like the document of the panel was specifically for printing on like an 8.5 by 11. And they blew it up to 180p or tried to. I don't know what it was. And then there's like these random little shots of what's happening in the story. There's a woman who has a sex scene for a ritual that makes it look like she's a fish out of water on top of a dude. I'm not joking. And then she has a zombie mask on at one point. And then there's a guy who's supposed to be a Joker type character, holds up a school, and then nobody really cares if the kids get killed. I don't know, but it's going to be great.
Listen,
Sorry.
I only remember two parts of this movie.
Yes.
The beginning, where the chase takes place.
Yeah.
It's in a city.
Yes.
Where it's actually kind of, I think it's in a combination of a junkyard and a lumber yard.
Yes.
And
with random images of like somebody pre-ordered, what is it called? The stock images of like helicopter.
Yes.
And then stock image of cityscape. Yes. And then someone randomly going inside a mall and within a pocket phone type of thing.
I think
camera.
The partner dies from a piece of lumber going through the car window.
Yes. And the car is a minivan. Mom's minivan. And that's supposed to be the detective's car. And then all of a sudden in the next scene we're in Michael Madsen's like Cadillac coupe,
and he's driving
type shit. He's just cruising in the mountains.
Someone else is talking for him.
Exactly. He's just.
And then the end of the movie, where the actual only scene of dialogue where Michael Madsen actually does his scene, where he goes in and shoots this dude and then sticks a American flag up his ass.
Yeah, or something like
he sticks a flag. He like kills the guy and then sticks a flag in his ass. And then smokes a cigarette or a cigar or something, and has like a one-liner.
He's looking at you, kid.
Yeah, he's like, for America.
He's like, good Lord, split you down the middle. Mm-hmm. It's the only scene. It is like 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the dude, I think this is Richard Driscoll. Originally, the movie was also something called, like, we saw at the end, the original title was
Kamikaze
Squad. They were trying to do like a Suicide Squad parody too.
Yep. Awful. It was awful.
And then there's some stock image of some dude who looks nothing like Michael Madsen too, who's got like some steampunk cowl on and a cape, just hanging out, looking over the city like Batman with some sort of filter on. Are you paying attention?
I am.
You're looking up Richard Driscoll?
No, I was looking up and seeing if Snyder actually did write Army of the Dead.
He did, yes.
He was one of three writers.
One of three writers.
But anyways,
Richard Driscoll also plays this sort of like Joker character. But he's also the writer, director, and then like, producer. Oh my God, I forgot about the filters. There's so many fucking filters everywhere.
We're going to cover this in a recall, so we're not going to go too much more away.
My head.
But as you can see, we lost our goddamn minds.
I just look at the trailer, guys. Just
check it out.
It's a blender. It's a blender movie. It's amazing. And yes. My brain.
So then we saw Spiral as well.
Yes.
And
I was actually hyped.
We saw that first before Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Which
so we
saw it second because we probably would have been a better
happier.
Experience leaving the theater.
Yeah, we were like, oh, this is great. It makes sense.
There's logic.
But like I said,
some logic.
Yeah, there's some logic.
Still some like, what the fuck?
Like, no, but I didn't feel like there was like some sort of weird, like, why? There was just this moment of like, just reveal yourself.
If you're a fan of the Saw franchise, you'll know that the first one and the second one are kind of like They're the okay ones. The third one's pretty good too. It's a story. They're telling a story, like, or it's like a thriller, but with has the traps and stuff in it. And it's usually circling around one specific character and how their code or whatever they've done in their past, if they were good or bad. And it's mostly about like an investigation or just telling that type of story or getting to know those characters. Then later on, like 4 through whatever, how long they went for, it was all about the kills.
Yeah.
Like what can we do to make the kills crazier and crazier? And that's not, they got rid of that and they brought it back to more,
picking up the pieces, investigating.
It's an investigation first and foremost. It's a thriller, and then the traps and the gore and everything is sprinkled in there.
That's the payoff.
Yeah, that's the payoff to every.
That's the money shot.
Every little,
if you will.
little moment, and they get progressively more aggressive as the film goes on. But I find it. That's why I like the first 2 Saws. I think the stories are more important than the actual gore, and then it gets from there on out. It got crazy.
That's what builds the horror.
Exactly.
That gets you like, what's going on?
In this case, the story is just about the LA Police Department, where Chris Rock's character, which crazy, he's fantastic. But in my opinion, I thought he did great. At first, it was like, Chris Rock, what the?
It's hard, you've seen him do so many comedic things, and then the way that his cadence just seems comedic to our brain because of the way he delivers his lines and the way he's always delivered his stand-up is similar. Because he's kind of wisecracky because that's how we see him. That's
just the character, and the character is like that, and that's eventually you kind of got into it. It's like that's just who he is.
He's like acting natural.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, believable.
I thought everything when seeing that investigation through his eyes, and then what happened in his past, and who he is, and how it's affecting the rest of the department. All played in very well. It was like I feel like everything was very cohesive. There was a few logic things that kind of bugged me, but other than that, I think everything was tied up in a nice little bow at the end.
Like we said, it's predictable. It's definitely like
I predict the bad guy about 15 minutes in. And I was
however, when I saw the trailer, like I think it was last year, right? Early last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be out May of last year, I believe.
Right. So early last year, I saw the trailer, and I mean the way that they framed everything and the way that they explained what this Jigsaw copycat is trying to do, it was like that's interesting because. If this is a good cop, well, like a cop that's kind of like, we didn't know that this in the trailer, thankfully, that he was the cop that people are, treating him like a rat because he turned in his partner.
No, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
I like that exposition.
Yeah, so just seeing the trailer and seeing that, from what I could tell, the performance in the trailer, I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. This is going to be awesome. And they've got so many iconic people in here. I want to see this. And I'm not a Saw fan at all. Like, as soon as I saw the trailer for the first Saw, I was just like, that ain't me. That's too stressful. Like, I love horror movies, but I'm also a punk at the same time. So I never really got into it. But this was something I was going to get into it. The way that there's certain parts where, like I said, with the trailer, I mean, the title screen, titles coming in saying, from the book of Saw, so that you know what this is all about, right? And even throwing in the fast cam back for the traps.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about the production of it.
I just felt like they were doing their best to make it as accessible to a wider audience to the point that it's like, it holds your hand. But, however, there are points with other characters, other scenes that are like kind of adjacent to the plot that work pretty good. Like, dealing with the first kill. Obviously, it's a good looking movie. I felt like it was a good-looking movie. At some points, there were some shots that I was like, why?
Yeah. Sometimes they linger just a little too long on something.
Or there was certain,
and it has no effect.
There's certain things that was like, why did it do? We knew he was going to scream, but they would, do this, fake out, jump scare scream. It was so weird. It was like, we need another jump scare in here. Yeah. It was something like that. It was, really weird.
If you're a fan of the Saw series, you'll know that the movies are usually kind of, color deficient.
You mean desaturated?
Desaturated, yes. And
taking the color out of.
This movie, it's very bright most of the time.
It's saturated. Yes.
There's a lot of different colors and a lot of different. It's just a different
warmer
feel.
movie.
There's a heat wave going on for one, so they're kind of incorporating that particular
the location, and also to complement the cast skin tone. Because it needs to be warmer. If you kind of desaturate darker skin tones, it looks blue, ashy, dark, everything like that. And especially to also turn up the fact that it is a heat wave, it does help that situation, and then makes the reds pop more.
Yeah. So I mean, seeing a different tone to one of these movies was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I like that most of the cinematography was interesting. There's actually a couple of good shots that I really enjoyed. Like there's some tracking shots. I love a good oneer.
That sounds dirty. I sorry to piggyback back to this desaturation. When it was a little desaturated and cooler, that's when traps or danger was near. I did notice that. That was cool.
Yes, whenever they were going into the traps, everything was a little bit. But it
was cooler colors, is what I'm saying.
Whenever Chris Rock's character is on screen, I think there is more saturated tones to everything.
No,
well, even when he gets in, we'll talk about it in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the oneers are cool. The cinematography is, for the most part, is pretty good, and the direction for all the actors is great.
Mm-hmm.
I could have used a little bit more non-expositional story when it came to the supporting cast. I feel like we don't get enough of their motivations. They just hate him because he was not loyal to the police department, essentially. He's a rat. And when they say he's a rat, it's because he turned in a police officer.
Chris Rock is the son of Samuel Jackson, who was the chief. Mm-hmm. And there's also like this nepotism aspect to it. Even with the new chief, there's a slight nepotism as well.
Yeah.
So that also turns up this kind of like hatred towards him. And he also acts like his shit don't stink, and he does wherever he wants to do. He's like, if no one's gonna back me up, I'm just gonna do it. Like and all that type of stuff. So there is like that tension that makes sense.
Yeah. I like exposition's fine. Most of the Saw series has exposition via flashbacks.
Yeah. That happens too.
It works for the story point of view, but I would have just liked a little bit more in the present day kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made this movie go to the next level for me. But they kind of relied on the old tropes of do the exposition in a flashback, mm-hmm. and that will just underline what's going on with these particular characters, and then we can off them later on in a trap. Mm-hmm. Bada bing, bada boom. You see the setup and the payoff, and then that's that.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler time.
Yeah, we can go spoilers.
Like we said, Chris Rock's character, even in the opening scene, he's doing like a drug bust undercover. Probably not even, he didn't tell anybody where he was.
He didn't tell anybody. And that's not his job. He's a detective.
Yeah, he's a detective. And so it's just like already tensions are, everyone hates him basically. And to get him to calm down and to let him to not get into danger so much, they give him a partner, rookie partner, and he's just like,
no, I'm better alone.
And they find out through like the opening trap, this person got hit by a train, and a jigsaw trap turned out to be a cop, and that just makes everyone go in the precinct go like they are targeting cops.
Can we talk about how that guy was dressed exactly like how the characters from LA Noire? It's 2020 in this movie, but he's dressed like he's in the video game LA Noire.
Yeah, he got the Hawaiian shirt and the fedora, all types of stuff, but also with a Fitbit on, and I mean, people that's the style now too, though.
I guess whatever they want to do.
Bring it back. Fedoras back. We get the mom jeans, the fedoras, the Hawaiian shirts back. Everything. the dad sandals with the socks and the fanny pack. That's basically all he needed it.
No more Crocs. We're back to the dad sandals with the socks.
Dad sandals with the what's it, the basket weave.
Yep. Yep.
I always hated those. Whenever I saw them, I was like, no.
No. That's a negative.
No. But like we said, the rookie, as soon as sometimes like the way that they did the direction with this guy, like just like lingering on him too long, he's the bad guy. It's him.
I think it was after the first kill. They were all sitting in this conference room talking about whatever's going on, and he went to leave the room and he asked for Chris Rock's phone, and I said, "Bad guy."
Who does that in current year? I leave the room. My phone's dying. Can I use yours? Hell no.
No, go plug it in.
Hell no. Not even like the only person I would do that for would be like my mom. Like that's it.
You have a landline on your desk. No.
What? Excuse?
Touch my phone. I need my phone. What if someone calls me?
Exactly. And then the fake quote unquote possible jigsaw copycat was the cop he turned in who's rehabilitated but bitter. And it's like no.
Yeah.
It's that guy. And the way that the camera would linger on his reactions, and he was just like, "Oh no, gross."
Yeah, and I like so it was very obvious at a certain point who the bad guy was because he gets killed.
Yeah, off screen.
But whenever someone gets killed in these movies, there was already established bit like you would see them get captured. And then you see them deal with the trap as they're investigating it at the crime scene after everything happened.
Right.
We got none of that. It was just a bunch of like rapid, speedy camera cuts and slicing and shit. And you don't see any I want to play a game or anything like that. It was obvious at that point who the bad guy actually was. And then they tried to do a red herring by killing him, as I said, and then sending him, sending Chris Rock's character
his
tattoo that he had on him. Yeah.
I heard it audible. I heard one gasp in the back, like when he came out. It was like, really?
That person was napping during that.
Yeah, they were. But I enjoyed the movie despite the obvious, like, you know. But
the traps were all interesting.
Yeah, it was a fun ride, you know, and I enjoyed trying to see this character try to put it together. Even though I already have seen all the pieces, he's putting the puzzle together with me.
That's the best part about the Saw series. Like the first few movies is like you're seeing someone unravel the mystery. Yeah, that's what you want to see.
Yeah,
and
that's why people.
Good.
Yeah, that's why people watch thrillers and in mystery movies and things like that, because you learning the same information is being shown to you, brought to you, to help you put it together with the character. It makes it more engaging instead of just like kill, which can be fine. That's not, like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there's more fun to be had with an engaging story with engaging characters, and that's how it started anyway. And if they're going back to this, which this seems, it kind of ends with the way that it could open it up that Chris Rock can come back and be kind of like an obsessed person trying to catch this guy, or someone that people are going to reach out to in the next movie.
They can continue this story somehow, but the guy has a code. He's only going to kill bad cops.
Yes.
So there's a way to do it, obviously, but it needs to be done right. Maybe he goes to a different precinct or something, and Chris Rock gets called in. Help out. I wanted to mention the bald cop that gets his fingers torn up.
Yeah.
That man hated Chris Rock's character with such vitriol that Chris Rock's was, you see in a flashback, Chris Rock's like, this guy's got a gun. I need backup. He said, fuck that guy. And then he hears a gunshot. He's like, shit.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. Like a gun. Like he's like, I am in danger.
I need help. Fuck him.
He was like, ooh, that's wild.
That is the amount of anger that man holds because something happened to somebody he knew 20 years ago or whatever long it was. And he holds that grudge for 20 years.
No, but also, because of what happened after that.
Well,
the
Sam
chief,
Jackson whooped his ass.
Oh, he knocked him
Busted his face. He had a scar for life.
Right. So that's probably another layer of
man.
you lucky ass little shit. And then you get they probably were cool. Him and the bad guy Peterson. They were probably buddies. And you got my buddy kicked off, and now his wife left him. Mm-hmm. He wanted to start a family. There's a lot of there could be a lot layers to it.
I wanted to see it. I wanted to see more.
Yeah. Yeah. But that wasn't important.
That's my main complaint. I just wanted to see more.
But that's not what's important. People are dying.
Yeah.
So.
And there's no nuke coming to the city that you get to run away from.
Yeah. There is a ticking clock, and they acted like there was a ticking clock.
Mm-hmm, they did. Yeah, like when the chief gets caught.
Yes.
He figures it out when he's nowhere near the precinct, and he's trying to get a hold of everybody there, and everyone's too busy trying to deal with a
distraction.
A distraction.
Yeah.
And there's a ticking clock, and you see it, and it happens, and he gets there just too late. Just too late. And everything had set up payoff. It had stakes. Everything worked out. Good movie. Mm-hmm. A little predictable, obviously.
It wasn't like perfect. Like, it's definitely a step. Like, I think it was a good, fun movie, and I think people will go back
from the last ones.
Yeah, people will go back and watch it again. I think people will watch it. You know, like, it'll be something like, "Ooh, I want to watch a scary movie on Halloween. I'll watch Spiral." Like, seriously, like it seems like that. And if it gets some good, looks, like people watching it and stuff. Maybe they'll do something more in that family again.
I can see them doing something like Saw 2, where they capture a bunch of cops into a house with Chris Rock's characters there too. Mm-hmm. And then they're trying to get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he leaves it up to Chris Rock in a bunch of situations where he's got to decide if that cop lives or dies or some shit. Mm-hmm. I'd be up for that. Mm-hmm. I think it would be an interesting story if they tell it right.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Boom.
That was a good movie, yeah.
Let's just touch on Without Remorse real quick.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Because I have nothing but praise for the movie for the most part.
Yeah.
I have no issues with it. Everything shot beautifully, acted wonderfully.
Yeah. This wasn't predictable.
Very few logic gaps. Was not predictable. It was a little predictable.
There was prediction there, but
we did predict something.
Yes.
As soon as we saw a certain somebody.
Certain actor. Two actors at first.
You gotta stop typecasting that guy.
He's like, it's easy. It's easy for me.
But Michael B. Jordan's Without Remorse, it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it now if you have Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. At home, in the comfort of your own home.
Thankfully, it's the quoted number one movie right now. And honestly, it's good. It is good. Like, it should be.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, and then it's choreographed. All the action scenes were really good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Yeah, I wasn't like super sold on it, but it looked like the trailer looked really cool. I was like, oh, okay, this will be a good action thriller type drama. And once you see his story unfold, especially with the first mission, I'm not going to spoil anything just yet. Control yourself. It draws you in.
Yes.
And it's like it's a good ride to be on. And it's just like, it didn't seem predictable. It didn't seem like the same stuff. It actually seemed like there were stakes in this situation.
Yeah, everything had stakes. Mm-hmm. Every decision they made had a consequence.
Yeah, and it had your guy Hella High Water wrote it. So
yeah, Tyler Sheridan wrote this movie, and helped executive produce it. So that's another reason why I like this movie, because I think I haven't seen his new movie.
For Those Who Want Me Dead.
Yeah,
Those Who Want Me Dead.
Those Who Want Me Dead yet. I was actually going to plug it on HBO this afternoon, but I never did it. But this movie, it was written very well. Michael B. Jordan killed it.
Very good. Very good.
He had like a mixture of like, I don't know.
He had this unhinged.
Yeah.
He's like,
he was controlled but unhinged at the same time.
Yeah, there's definitely like in the situation where he needs to be unhinged and dangerous, you can see it in just his expression. And at the same time, he was very like play. He could be playful with his CO, and then be a good husband in one scene, and then be distraught in another scene. It's just very, very talented. Everybody's acting performance was really, really good.
Yeah, the scene where, I mean, it's not a spoiler because it happens in the trailer, but his wife dies. The scene where afterwards, or he's dealing with that, is like,
it rips you apart, really.
yeah. I don't know. I think we just go into spoilers from this point.
Yeah, let's just get in there.
So this movie is a setup for the Rainbow Six Siege universe.
Yeah.
There's the video game series Rainbow Six, which is based off the Tom Clancy novels, and they're basically setting that up. This is he's going to be the origin character for it, and they're going to build off of this. So that's cool. I dig that, and if it's going to have the same production quality as this movie, those movies are just going to get progressively better.
Yeah. So I had a feeling because, like, Tom Clancy, and then you said that when we were watching it, this was supposed to be it, but they probably wanted to test the waters first because this is like a mission that it goes south.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing to use as a entry point to show, how competent, this can be and how it can be believable and go into that universe. So as soon as he's like, I got a team I want to put together and everything, I was like, great.
Yeah, we're talking about the post-credits.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So we get introduced to the fact that this is a setup to this Rainbow Six this Rainbow Six thing that they're going to be studying
universe or something
at the very end of the movie with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Bell's character talking about it, and yeah, that's cool. But the overall movie itself follows Michael B. Jordan's character as they're investigating this whatever situation they were sent in on.
There was a terrorist attack on American soil, and they were told it was, I don't know, Al Qaeda or something, like some other fringe terrorist group. Turns out it's the Russians, and they wanted to have Russians dead on American soil, and then Americans dead on Russian soil to start a new war.
Yeah, because it's going to be profitable.
It's profitable for some reason. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's profitable.
To some.
All industries boom.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Sucks. So that's the whole big master plan, is to start a war so the United States can get out of their deficit, essentially.
Yeah. Sorry.
Stupid ass Guy Pearce.
As soon as he showed up, I was like, bad guy.
Yeah.
That's a bad guy right there.
Look at that bad guy.
We're pointing like, bitch, you slimy bitch.
At first we thought Jimmy Bell was going to be the bad guy, but
the way
he was just a red herring.
So smug and like smirking every time he said something. He'll just like, just my luck to fuck up your day.
He was an asshole.
And he looked at her like...
His character was just an asshole.
Or as he pissed himself, because Jody scared the shit out of him.
I gotta tell you, and her and Michael together, and every scene they did was fantastic.
Really good. I liked it.
Yeah.
They were definitely like, that's a little brother, older sister type thing.
So everything is building and building and building. They have this whole situation in Syria, Syria.
No, they were on American soil so that the Russians can be dead on American soil.
I don't remember exactly where I don't think they were in America.
That's what they said.
Maybe they were.
I watched the same movie. I know.
I think they were in Syria because they were talking about getting Syria. They were in Syria, but they had Russian.
They said, and I quote, "Americans on this are the Russians. They just want dead Russians on our side and dead."
No, that's because that's what happened in the fallout of that, because they started killing off the crew that was in the opening mission.
Yeah.
And they killed them all off, and they left a dead Russian in Michael B. Jordan's bedroom.
Oh yeah,
that's what was going to happen.
That's right.
And after they killed his wife, but then he whooped everyone's ass.
And he survived.
And then that's how the movie progresses from there. He should have died, but he survived, and now needs to revenge
Coming for you. He's coming. He's coming for you. He's coming. He's a crazy ass bitch.
We're going to get copyright claim now.
No,
Sorry,
we sung it. We sung it, Deandra. It's fine. We should have like a little Deandra's head peeking up, like, and then she goes away. One day, I'm gonna have that in a video. When I finally somehow do a Deandra Brown video, I'm gonna have a little Deandra in the corner or something.
Yeah, be very careful about that.
I don't know. Yeah, she's got the copyright. Guys, there's this thing, this DMCA free thing, where apparently you can pay $5.99 a month for somebody to claim people's shit when you have the DMCA sticker.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want to play with that right now until she gives up. Her fame dies down a little bit, and she calms down and sees that it's all in play and it's bringing people giving you money. Actually, you shouldn't take that off. I'm not gonna touch it till she calms down. So anyway, continue. I'm sorry, that was random. She's coming. She's gonna get us. It's gonna be us first.
All the action is fantastic.
Oh yes.
All the gunfights, everything is cool, and things happen that you don't expect to happen. Like that, you think something's gonna go easy. This is gonna be lame. They're just gonna do this, da da da. You predict it, but then there's like, nah, it's gonna do this.
Right.
And they're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole plane thing where they start shooting at the plane, they down the plane,
right.
And the whole sequence.
They ain't playing around.
That was cool. Like I didn't expect all that.
We thought that the mission, all these types of movies, they jet set to a new location for exotic location for this really cool fight to happen. But no, we're in a situation where no one's playing around on either side. Random planes would probably get shot down. And that completely throws the mission into a whole nother loop. And then just kind of like the camera work for everything. Really.
Oh my God. Yeah. The camera work was fantastic in every way. Like I didn't have a problem with any of it. Mm-hmm. Like, and then every sequence that they do, there's always an issue, and the story, the issues compound, and they compound, and that's how you raise tension.
Right.
And that's just how you tell a story, and you compel your audience to be like, whoa, what's going to happen next? And I was like that throughout the entire movie. And at the very end of the movie, so everything gets wrapped up in a nice little bow, pretty much, before everything ends. We find out who the big bad guy is. Find out it's Guy Pearce, who plays the Secretary of Defense or some shit.
Surprise.
Big whoop.
I'm surprised. Get out of here.
And Michael B. Jordan saved his squad from getting killed by Russian police.
Not everyone. There was a casualty.
Yeah, there was one, or actually a couple people died on that plane.
Right. There was like 3-4 casualties.
He basically prevented the war from happening, but he basically was going to sacrifice himself, but he found a way out. And again, they kept building. It's like, how is he going to get out of this one? How is he going to get out of this one? And he kept doing it.
And it shows the character he's not unbreakable, but he's definitely resourceful. He's resourceful. He's resourceful as hell.
America. Kimmy Schmidt, Unbreakable.
Yeah, I know the song.
Okay.
Because females are strong as hell.
That's why you know the song?
Females are strong as hell. We just saw that Michael Che, that damn Michael Che, and he's in it. He's the one who says the females is what the guy who gets the prostate exam. That's him. I was gonna say something, but I wanted to watch the scene with Method Man.
That damn Michael Che is pretty.
It's pretty
good.
funny.
The first episode's like
it's
okay,
weird.
Like everything gets progressively better.
I feel like okay, so
before we get down to that,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts on Without Remorse?
I liked
thought the movie
it.
was great.
I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad that they kind of gave it an opening that, like this gateway with this movie, but it was a good cohesive movie.
Yeah, they told this whole story, beginning, middle, end, and then they introduced this other concept at the very end after credits.
Yeah, it's not a throwaway movie. It stands alone on its own. Mm-hmm. It does keep you. It's like. Even if we didn't stay for the last part, it did end in a way that it was like, oh wow, like it closes. It kind of gives it a good bookend.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, it's like, oh, he's just disappearing.
Yeah.
He could always come back.
Even if you don't see the post-credit sequence, like you said, you're good to go. You're gonna know if he comes back again later, there's a good reason for it.
Right.
Check it out.
It's a lot of fun.
Check it out.
Quickly on that damn Michael Shea, because I didn't watch the first couple episodes like Sean did, but I did watch, what was it, like episode 3?
It was, episode 3 is when you came on
and then parts of episode 4. I enjoyed it. I thought the jokes were funny, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of like in that way of joking of way of a comedy of like a live action Family Guy. So that's why it's kind of weird.
It's a skit show first and foremost.
Yeah.
I gotta stop saying it. It is a skit show that he's doing. I wasn't expecting a skit show, but that's what it turned out to be. Which I'm cool with because I do love a good skit show. He has recurring bits throughout of it, but he also has one-offs as well. And he's in some of them, and some of them he's not. And the way they write the comedy, it's
a mix of Chappelle's Show and Family Guy to me. It's kind of like the surreal weirdness and then hyper silliness and then real like raw like commentary, but with jokes inside of it too.
But like for example, because you came in, you watched the one where the buddy got shot, right?
Yes. The whole thing.
Oh, you watched the whole thing.
And he called it his a very special episode version of the episode. Like the episode where so-and-so on a Different Strokes will get the molester episode and Stranger Danger.
Yeah. The whole episode from beginning to end is funny, but the way he does his comedy he himself is a deadpan comic in my opinion.
Pretty deadpan, yeah.
The way he does this skit show is deadpan. Like everything is played relatively straight.
Yeah.
But the things that they say is funny or real or like
kind of over the top.
What you would normally think, but you don't actually verbalize.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it funny.
And then there's a scene with like Method Man who plays a doctor, and he's basically what's his name? The doctor from Family Guy, like, what's this for? Anyway.
Dr. Herbert. That's Simpsons.
His name is like, whatever, fucking doctor character. He sounds just like the Lois's dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, same guy. So that's basically how he played it. He played it like, your friend's dead. Maybe if you got him here sooner. Anyway, gonna get some coffee. Oh, here's a mask. Because, see ya.
You're gonna be in here. You got to wear a mask.
You gotta be.
It's got blood on the mask and shit.
Every mask that's been handed to him has been dirty as hell.
I like how he introduces himself because this is the very end of the episode. He comes up to Michael and he's just like, "Who'd you come in here again with?"
Yeah, like I'm so sorry to do this to you.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
He's dead. Sorry. It's hilarious, but also like, it's the dark comedy, like that Family Guy thing where there'll be something serious, but they make it funny and make jokes out of it, and then there's a serious message in there or whatever. Yeah, it's that similar situation.
The other good bit that they do in that episode is when they're on the train. And they're just having this normal conversation. His buddy is shot.
Bleeding out.
He didn't want to pay for an ambulance.
Which is real as fuck.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not paying $8,000 for an ambulance. I'm trying to buy a house.
Right. And then they call a lift, and then the guy is like, what's wrong with him? He's like, he's shot. He's like, why can't you just do an ambulance? Like, it's $8,000. Oh yeah, because your credit, you don't want to mess it up, man. He's trying to get a house, mess up your credit.
So they're on this train. He's shot. They're not wearing masks, and then people start yelling at them for not wearing masks. They're being irresponsible. And one of the dudes that's yelling at him is a homeless man who's butt-ass fucking naked.
Ass naked.
And he's just yelling at them, scolding them for being disgusting, irresponsible, and a scourge on the human race.
Right.
And he's sitting there full frontal.
Yeah. he's like, you are making this is disgusting. And it's like, you're naked.
You're fucking naked. And he's like, I got some extra masks. He's like, where'd you put the mask?
He got a phone in his ass. He's got a phone and a mask.
They were doing this live bit throughout where he's like, I'm gonna do this live.
I got 34 people. I never had this many people before.
That episode is...
That was great. It was a great episode.
Fantastic episode. So if you have HBO Max, that damn Michael Shea, Or is it
Or
that
if
darn?
you're gonna, pirate it, yeah, go just look at it. It's fun. It's good. Look
Yeah.
at the clips on YouTube. It'll probably
Whatever
end up
you
on
want to do.
YouTube. Everything ends up on
I always
YouTube.
thought Michael Shea was probably
Michael Shit.
Michael Shea. Michael Shea was one of the funnier. I said Michael. I was gonna say Michael Shea,
You
but
said
it's
Michael.
Shea.
He said Michael Shit.
Michael, I got all the hoopla for you, my dude.
Ooh, I'm gonna tell.
But yeah, last
Very
thing we
funny.
wanted to touch on real quick. We watched all of Invincible. We were talking about Invincible beforehand. Let's just wrap it up. We watched the last episode.
The meme is amazing.
The meme.
Think, Mark. Think. Pika P. The one with Ash and Pikachu. Pika P. Pika. It was a good ending. I liked it.
It makes sense that the how Dad Omni-Man becomes like
Daddy.
He's very daddy.
You called him Dad.
Omni-Man beats the shit out of Mark the entire episode,
Right.
scolding him for not understanding his logic, and then
But
his love conquers all, and he flies off into space, and that's how the season ends, and it's beautiful. And I love it.
Yeah.
There's no like you have to defeat the big bad. It was just about a simple the affection of a father and a son, and that's a good way to end a season.
Right. It's like because I was talking about it with my sister and on Mother's Day. I was like, "You've been watching it?" She's like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, he realistically, I think he would change." And I'm like, "No, because Mark has been treated like a human being for the most part. Maybe, an exceptional human being because he's expecting powers and he's half alien, but he has been raised and lied to by his father to say that the Viltrumites were different, benevolent and kind and supposed to be here to enrich and help mankind. And then you turn around and he's like, no, we're supposed to dominate. And he's like, no, I'm not. What? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That would not work. Unless, it was like some sort of Brightburn kit.
The whole story of like the reveal and everything was
Chef's kiss.
some great shit.
Yeah, I'm excited. I already know what happens.
I spoiled myself as well.
I spoiled myself, so I'm excited to see it go down.
Started watching stuff going ahead and reading things.
Right. It's so weird. Okay.
It's such an interesting story.
With the way
and the fact that it's from Robert Kirkman, who I feel like jumped the shark after the first few volumes of his Walking Dead series. I think he did the perfect thing with this one, where everything he wrote kind of like came full circle. And then that he's involved with this, he's like improving upon that, like he did with the Walking Dead first few seasons, where like he improved on things that was kind of like okay in the comic book, and then this one I think is light years beyond what he did with the Walking Dead. He moved stories points around from the comics. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they portray the rest of the story. And it's just parts that just reveal and connect that just makes it's just so interesting to see how everything is going to fall together. Because there's always this setup, and then these threads connect and go away and everything. It's just like perfect. Yeah, I like it.
The setup, like you said, the setup for future things. Like now that I've read ahead a little bit, I know what's going to happen for future things. And the end of the episode where they're introduce all these different specific things, like you see the Mars situation again, you see Alan again, you see the aliens that invaded in the first episode or second episode again. All these things are going to come back because they come back in the comics, and it's just a tease for people who are familiar with that, and that's great.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I'm ready to see the next part whenever it shows up.
That's all I have to talk about today.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Covered a lot.
Yeah.
So, to recap, Army of the Dead.
If you like zombies,
it's interesting. It's fun. I guess.
If you like zombies, go for it. I mean, it's definitely could be improved.
Yeah. Spiral is an interesting, fun thriller. A little predictable.
It was okay. I think it was fun. I think you will. Watching it again will probably be like you can watch it again and again. I think.
You can probably get something out each time you watch it.
Yeah.
Without Remorse,
that was good too.
A great movie that I would watch again as well. And Invincible.
Probably go back and watch it again.
Probably gonna watch it. I've been thinking about watching the whole series back again. Anyways.
It'll definitely be like watch the season a few times before season 2 comes out.
And then that day, Michael Che, give him some hoopla. He loves the hoopla.
A funny show. I like it.
Yeah, that shit's funny. And check out what's the movie? Army Darkness.
Assassins, Revenge.
Army Assassins of Revenge Darkness.
No, well, just look at the trailer. Just check out the trailer.
Assassins Revenge.
It's free on Vudu. It's no longer on Amazon Prime. I guess they were just like, you've done enough. You can go away now.
Still don't understand why it's Assassin's Revenge. It's like they make it a superhero type
because
thing.
Assassin's Creed came out around the same time.
That's what they make.
And
there's no assassins.
There's no assassins. There's this knockoff Batman. It's really weird. It's really weird, you guys.
Anyways.
But it was funny to laugh at and lose my mind at. Anyway, catch us next time on another one of these poorly reviews and probably in a recall coming up soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah. If you like this, like, share, subscribe, give us a comment. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. If you have any suggestions.
If you've seen any of the movies that we've seen, like, and if there's, you know want to, let's just talk about it because I enjoy Spiral a lot.
Drop the comments in the comment section. We can go at it.
Drop the comments in the comment section, not the community section.
Not the community section, and then so
we're constantly. All right, we'll see you. Thank you so much, and take care of each other.
Adios.
Is that the mother? Is that it? Is that what is that? Oh, it's got a mouth at the bottom.
Yeah, that's a squid.
It's scary. I don't like.
Oh, it's okay.